My a-hole has been through a barbecue party for his friends. I refused to help and party was a disaster. Disclaimer, we are all vaccinated. So, my husband likes to invite his friends. Note, his friends. I'm not close with them. For barbecue parties. Prides himself on his barbecue skills. The thing is, I always end up doing everything. He buys and preps the meat and then grills and serves it. And collect praise for his barbecue skills. I have to buy drinks. Get out enough dishes. Clean up the patio/deck. Non-native speaker. I don't know which one to use. I prepare the sides and veggies. I refill the drinks and take away dishes. We don't use paper plates or plastic cups since I find it wasteful. So as to keep the main table tidy. It's just non-stop work for me. He just told me last week that he invited his friends for Saturday. So yesterday. Just announced it, didn't ask me. I said, well, okay, do I know anyone? Nope. Those are his workmates and they won't be bringing their spouses. My husband called it a guys' night. I said, okay then. Guys' night. Well, enjoy yourselves. I will be in my craft room working on some of my projects and drinking wine. He said we'll handle it. Spoiler alert, he did not handle it. He got a meat alright, but just ignored any other preparation. I was just so sick and tired of being taken for granted. He never asks me for help, I just do stuff. So I didn't do anything. The patio was a mess, the upholstery of the garden furniture was all messy from our dogs, the table wasn't wiped down, there was stuff lying all around. His friends arrived. I welcomed them, and then excused myself to my crafts room, put some music on, and worked. Cue the messages. He started asking for stuff, like where are the plates? We only keep a small set in the kitchen, the rest is in the basement. Where are the cups? Why isn't the beer chilled? Where is the non-alcoholic beer? Did I not buy it? Where are the sides? I just replied that he said he would handle it all himself. This is also where I feel I might have been the a-hole. It would have taken me just minutes to at least tell him where the stuff is. I checked on the guys a few hours later, and it was a disaster. Table all cluttered. They ordered some takeout asides. There weren't enough dishes and silverware. Someone had to go drive for drinks. On Sunday, today, he was all grumpy and actually told me that he is disappointed that I didn't pull my weight, and that I made our family look sloppy and bad. I told him that I'm not his little housewife and that he's a big guy, and if he embarrassed himself in front of his workmates, that's all on him. And that I'm glad that he can see at least a tiny bit of work that I do around the house. He got upset and went for a run to let off some steam. Oh, and the patio is full of dishes. He didn't even clean the grill. I'm not touching anything. Now for the top comments. Not a-hole. In fact, you're so not a-hole that you are my hero. Your husband can kick rocks. If he wants to look at a person who failed, he just needs to look at himself in the mirror. Right? I lost it at told me that he is disappointed that I didn't pull my weight. He clearly hasn't been pulling his weight for a while now, if he doesn't even know where his own dishes are stored. I would have said, actually, I've been pulling my weight and yours for years. This is the first time I've made you pull your own, and this is how you act? I've created an entitled monster and this stops now. I'm so mad for Opie. Posts like these always get to me. I was Opie for so many years. Married an entitled mama's boy and did nearly all of the unpaid work in the relationship, while also working a demanding career and pulling home more money. As a result, my immune system crashed and I got deadly sick. That's when he divorced me because we grew apart. Not a-hole. Is he always this entitled? Rethink your entire relationship dynamic if he is, and start demanding for the kind of treatment you deserve. I suppose I caused this myself. I am tidy and he is not. So during the course of the day, he leaves his coffee cup wherever he ends up being when he finishes it. He leaves clothes on kitchen chairs, just puts stuff wherever. And as I go through the house, I just grab stuff, put it into its place. My craft room is organized. His work shed is like a bomb went off there. But I don't care, it's his place. So most likely he just got used to the fact that I clean up after him without being prompted. It's not some insane mess. He sometimes doesn't even see it or realize it. Like how he shouldn't leave his nice clear shirt in the kitchen where it might absorb the smells. He doesn't mind or see the mess. It's not your fault he's lazy, unless you carry the huge mental load of running a clean house all by yourself. He needs to start pulling his weight, and you need to stop blaming yourself and start asserting the need for him to step up his game. Edit/update. Thank you for the comments. This made me realize I am at fault as well for tolerating this for so long. I went out to clear my head. My husband came back from his run and is pointedly not speaking to me, and to reconsider many things in our marriage. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for walking off in the middle of dinner? My friend was trying to set me, 27 male, up with one of her friends. Only reason I said yes was because she kept pushing us to go out and telling me she thinks we'd be a cute couple. So whatever, I gave in, and we agreed to meet at this restaurant. Her choice, by the way. It was this Mexican restaurant, and I've been there before. They make some really good enchiladas. The tables are spaced out because of COVID, and obviously not a lot of seats available for people who want to eat, so we spent like 15 minutes waiting to get a table. This girl was already getting impatient. And literally, the second we get a table, she's talking crap to the waitress who came to ask us what we want to drink. About how they shouldn't be open if they're not able to cater to their customers. She was just being super rude to this lady for absolutely no reason. Funny thing was, she's being totally nice to me. First gave her crap because she brought ice in her drink, but never asked for it to have no ice, which I pointed out to her, but she didn't believe me because she knows she asked for no ice. Then again, got mad because there wasn't any burgers on the menu. It's a Mexican restaurant. I told her if she wanted burgers, we could have gone to a place that serves burgers. But she claimed this place did serve burgers because she's been here before. Again, starts giving the waitress a hard time, and I tried hard not to let it get to me, up until she called the waitress a freaking dum-dum and to do her job. At that point, I apologized to the waitress, then told the girl we're done here. I took out my wallet to pay for the drinks, also a tip for the waitress, and told her I'm not putting up with her crap anymore. This girl was calling for me, but I walked out the restaurant and drove off. She came in a separate car, by the way, so not like she was left stranded. My phone was blowing up. All of the messages from this girl were pretty much called her worst date and other names too. Then my friend was giving me a hard time because now she's embarrassed to be around this girl, knowing that I just walked off during our dinner. And she says I could have handled that better than acting like a complete jackass if I didn't like the way she was acting. At least could have been a gentleman and made it through the meal instead of humiliating her. I don't know, that stuff really bothers me. My mom was a waitress and I'd be at her work all the time after school until her shift ended. Saw the way customers treated her sometimes, so I guess it was personal for me seeing how this girl was being. Not sure if I let my emotions get the best of me and if I was in fact an a-hole the way I reacted. Definitely not an a-hole. A very big not an a-hole. That girl, she's most definitely not a woman with how childish she was acting, was disgusting and rude. That girl is not entitled to have you save her face, especially if she was being a big a-hole. You should be proud that you walked away and that you didn't put up with that behavior. It expressly shows her that it's wrong, and it shows the waiter that someone has her back against people like that. I'm seconding this comment big time. I hope he should be proud of his actions. Not an a-hole, and well done. You weren't an a-hole. You didn't cuss anyone out. I think you made the most mature decision you could have. Not an a-hole. I guess that I just got up and left her there. Made me seem like an a-hole. Especially since other people were around, so that's why I wasn't sure if I had the best reaction. Thanks. Yeah, no. She made herself look like an A. Big time. She also made a chunk of your service night miserable, but I think your reaction probably made it a bit better. Your actions were standing up for her, even if you didn't phrase it that way. You treated her with respect and dignity, unlike your date had. Also, you for sure saved yourself from a future further nightmare. Props to you for noping the heck out of there. Not an a-hole. How people treat servers, bar staff, and retail workers says a lot about people. You dodged a bullet. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for getting upset at my wife for always telling me she doesn't have money? I, 32 male, have supported my wife, 32 female, and daughters since our daughter was born. Recently, my wife got a job and gets paid pretty well. Not as much as me, but pretty well. I only ask her to pay for childcare. I pay the rest. Both cars, insurance, cell phones, internet, rent, utilities, groceries. She constantly tells me that she only has so much money in her account and rarely pays for stuff when we go do things. She also hides her account balance from me, while having full access to my account, which is a joint account. We constantly bicker about her lack of willingness to pay for stuff because she doesn't have money. She will not hesitate to use my money for stuff because she says I have all the money. Today, she said she only had a few dollars to get some food on the way home. She asked me if I wanted some food, and I said, well, it sounds like you don't have enough money. Her response was that she will just use my card to pay for the food. I once again get aggravated that she will not ever use her money for us, but doesn't hesitate to use mine. Am I the a-hole for being aggravated at my wife for hoarding her money while freely using mine while I pay for the majority of the bills? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. This is a red flag. She's either terrible with money or is hoarding it for something. I don't understand when married couples don't just share their money. My husband and I have separate accounts. I pay the rent, utilities, and my student loans when paying them was still a thing. He pays for everything else. We have a joint account, but that's used more as a dumping place for big windfalls like the stimulus checks and our tax refunds. It's how we split the bills when we were dating, and it still works for us. But we also communicate with each other and don't try hiding our money. I have to chime in. My husband and I have always had separate bank accounts. We've been married 23 years now. We've never had a problem with it, and it has never seemed odd to us. It's just how it works for us. It's not a matter of trust at all. We split bills just as you described. He has certain ones. He's responsible for some. I'm responsible for others. If one of us falls a little short, we help each other. But we definitely don't keep track or a tally sheet. It is up to the couple to decide what works best for them as a team. Not day haul. Now that you're both working, it's time to combine your finances for the sake of your daughter. She also hides her account balance from me while having full access to my account, which is a joint account. This is very alarming. It is shady as hell that your wife is hiding her balance from you, refusing to discuss her savings and insisting that you continue to pay everything as if you're still the sole breadwinner. My mate had this issue. One day his wife just transferred half the value of the house and asked him to leave. She'd been having an affair for 10 years and he was oblivious. Not day haul for being frustrated about this, but I think you need to have a grown-up conversation with your wife about it. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to get rid of my train collection in my own apartment? I started collecting trains while in middle school. My dad was a conductor for the MTA and used to have his own collection/setup. He got very ill when I was around 13 from cancer and ultimately passed away. I kept our passion of trains alive so that I can always remember him. Last May, after graduating college, I moved into my own apartment. My girlfriend of 3 years helped me with this, and she knows of my train collection. I had it in my bedroom at home too. She always joked that I would need to get rid of it, but I never took her seriously. Fast forward to yesterday, she was talking about moving in with me once she graduated college. I was fine with this, but now she said I must get rid of my train collection. She said it was juvenile to collect trains and that I can collect something more mature, such as old vinyls or coins. I really do not want to get rid of my train collection though. I guess it can be kind of juvenile and I do not even have many trains placed all over. Just one shelf dedicated to them with a picture of my dad and I while he was in his uniform at work. Now she's upset and saying I am prioritizing my toys over her and went home. Am I the a-hole here? Should I just pack them away for her? Choose someone else and keep the trains. If the connection to your deceased dad doesn't move her to tolerate your collection, she's complete trash. Not the a-hole. Agreed. That is so lovely how he keeps his dad's memory alive like that. It is. But even without the dad's memory attached to it, when two people move in together, they need to compromise, including decorations, because both of them need to feel at home. What's the point if only one person decorates the apartment without the other one's input? Does the girlfriend want her partner to ditch all of his interests too? Not the a-hole. Lots of warning signs here. Why would she insist on getting rid of your trains considering the sentimental value? Consider if you have a future with someone who take aim at something clearly important to you whilst telling you what you're allowed to collect. Not the a-hole. This is a hobby that you not only enjoy, but it has ties to your father. Those are two very important things. If your girlfriend has a problem with that, she can find somewhere else to live.